What businesses in Kingston are most affected by this tariff or going to be affected?
What we need to understand is because the tariffs are wide-reaching across many sectors, that it's going to affect all businesses in Kingston for the most part. Those agencies that won't be affected are government offices, of course, but all of our Main Street will be affected. Our manufacturers are going to be affected. Anything in healthcare, even trying to get products in for our healthcare is going to be a challenge for those folks, as well as the local businesses who on Main Street who need to change their different suppliers. Can they do that? So where do they find those suppliers? From the manufacturers, some have been very proactive and have been looking for different sources since they knew Donald Trump was coming into the presidency, and understanding where he might take things, have already sourced different lines of products from Europe and have been able to stem that flow. But to your question, it will affect all businesses in the Kingston market.
Whether it's a small or big? Or...
Doesn't matter if it's small or big, everyone is going to be affected to some degree. Some will be more affected than others.
Yeah, okay. So a lot of things come from the United States, let's say for especially small business like grocery stores and like corner stores, vegetable stores. So a lot of products come through United States also from Mexico. So how the Mexico can play a role to help Canada, or Canada can get help from Mexico on those products which we use on a daily basis, like dairy products, agriculture products.
We do get a lot of our produce from Mexico comes to Canada. It will depend on how it gets here. If it's coming through trucks through the States, there's a possibility it could be tariffed that way. We don't know those details yet.
But even if it's not their product?
Even if it's not their product, because they could be doing, we don't know yet what's going to happen with trucking from Mexico to Canada. Are there going to be tariffs on those trucks coming across the border? Those conversations are happening. The other part is if it comes air, then there isn't any challenges for getting our fruit from Mexico, but that does increase the costs of that product coming through air.
Yeah. So as a Chamber of Commerce, you have a lot of members. Have you learned or heard that business in Kingston are exploring or has explored alternate markets or supply due to these tariffs to make sure that nothing goes short?
Yes, we have talked to a number in our outreach to a number of our members in different sectors. From the manufacturing sector, we have talked to a number of folks who have, again, already resourced their products that they used to get from the States, and they're getting them from Germany and Poland, for example. I've talked to more Main Street hairdressers, for example, who are now getting their products from sources within Canada versus their product lines coming from the States. They've stopped their orders. They still have that product on the shelf, so they still have to go through that product before they start to sell Canadian products. So yes, they are starting to source out where they can, and there's still others who are still looking for the needs to make their flow of business to continue at that level they need it to continue at. There are going to be some slowdowns as that process happens.
What is the potential impact of tariffs with the job loss in Kingston can be?
I think we're going to see some challenges ahead. There's no question about that. And we're starting to see that already in some of our manufacturing, where we've had some shifts who are shorter shifts, folks who are dependent on overtime, where they've consistently always had overtime. Those kind of shifts are not happening now. So that means the wallet share is going to be less for those folks, which means the consumer is going to have less to spend. So we're seeing some of that happening already in manufacturing. So because they're the first ones being really targeted with these tariffs, we're going to start seeing maybe some slowdowns within our hospitality until we're going to pick up. Visit Kingston is going to be promoting local travel to our community, which is fantastic. And I think that's one of the pieces that we need to be really focused on, is that tourism piece to get us through the summer months, so we can get the hotel stays, we get the restaurants working at full. So there's some of those pieces that are really going to be beneficial for us. But the other part of that is we don't have maybe those jobs being filled from that level. So what we're looking at right now is what industries are thinking more positively during this period, which is folks like healthcare. They will have openings. Financial institutions, insurance companies, they're thinking more positively right now. So there is opportunity if someone does perhaps get laid off, which we do believe will happen. There's some opportunities for them to upskill into these other areas of work. Where there's going to be more challenges, we believe, is when at the bottom of that spectrum is things like construction, housing developments. Those are going to be more challenging roles to fill.